Hi, it's Andrea Budey of Infra Intelligence Framework, and this is the virtual environment of Infra. Infra is not delivered anymore installed in the physical machines, but in a virtual environment where there is the virtual machine. So it will be easier to replace, to copy, to save a backup, or to clone it, and or to replace. So the virtual environment, in this case, there are three virtual environment. They are all connected together as a data cluster. So it's a cluster of machines. They are physical machines. These are not virtual. Hyper 1, Hyper 2, Hyper 3. This is a simulation of what is happening in the mainframe. The mainframe in general has three physical machines dedicated for HyperVisor, so to elaborate the virtual machines. Inside of them, there are virtual machines, and external of this, by the same mainframe, physical mainframe, there is the machine dedicated to the file server, another similar machine for the backup, and another machine that does monitor and configuration. Also, there is a monitor and configuration virtual machine inside the internal network of the virtual machine, so it can be easily copied and run or stopped. The mainframe is very powerful compared to the INFRA-Cube. So INFRA-Cube are in general about 12 cores. The mainframe is 128 cores, every single machine, so altogether is a lot of power because they are seen as altogether basically. In this case, there are 3 cubes. We see 36 CPU. In the mainframe, because this is also considering the virtual cores, there will be really many. This will be basically 128 for 3, but there will be 256 virtual core for 3, so 768 CPUs, plus that one of the backup and that one of the other machines and the file server. So it will be really a lot of cores. So when we decide to add the other machines here, in general there will be 1,600 and more cores. So it will be really a lot. Very, very powerful solution, and a lot of RAM and disk. You can always here check with the summary. So what is important now is that when you log in to the physical computer with even just attaching a monitor and a keyboard, you just see this virtual environment. Any of these computers, you will see the virtual environment. You cannot check any other thing than this, and this is what you basically see. This is important for the user because here you can do some configurations, but especially you can configure the network. Imagine your network is different than my network, so you don't want to use the network, the typical network 192.168.1. whatever as your real connection. That one that will go with the gateway and go to internet. Maybe you want another one. Maybe you want a 10.0.0.0 or something like that. You can configure this one here. Our suggestion is not to use anything like 10.152.152 because this one is what we use as an internal network. So this machine will use this one to connect to each other even if this network is broken. So they will continue to work, everything will be well configured, and they can read the new configuration easily just from one computer to the other. And so unless there's a problem of compatibility that you need this other network for other things that you have, there are no reasons to change this one. So you just change the main one, and you have to go to every single physical node to change it. After you do this, you may want to change the IP of every single machine. And these machines, they do the same. They have a login. Most cases, like this one, after you log in, you will just load a configuration page. So this user is not able to do shell and remote commands. It can just see this web, and here you can configure infra for the IP address accordingly to what you did already in the hypervisor. So here you're using this IP. Maybe you want to, of course, you want the machine platform, the virtual machine platform, to be reached from your network. So you can log in with your user using mine, and if everything is correct, you basically log in here, and you can have the infra platform. Infra has all its parts. In this moment you don't need. In this moment you just have to go to the network and set what you need. So in general, they had two connections. The first one should be that one you connect to the internet or to the main as the main connection. This is because we seen before here that we connected the first one to the main connection, and the second one is for internal use. So this is what will happen. That the first one you can click main connection, for example, and save it like that. You can put it in automatic via DHCP, or you can configure the static client, that maybe is better. So you will know which IP is connected to infra, so you can reach it from your laptop or whatever other computer, and do to log in here without to use the physical approach. Same will be with some other machines. So imagine you go here, for example, you will have a physical user, and this physical user, what will really do is to load the browser. So you don't have here commands, like a Unix machine. You don't have a shell. You don't have anything. You basically just wait a bit, and when the display is black, you just wait, and it will load a platform, a web platform, where you can basically log in exactly what we did here. So it will see the infra. For example, now I log out. You will see this one. You'll see also here. You see it's loading now. So it's becoming white, gray. So all the times we'll see the connection is not private, but it is normal when you use an internal IP. In this case, it's using 127, so it's impossible any way to sniff this. So it is actually secure. And here you have your login for infra platform is different than your login for the system, so the system level that we just did, and from the hypervisor. So you will have several logins that you need for maintenance, but after you do the first configuration, you just need your login for infra, and that's all. Also, you don't need to log into the dark infra anymore, because the normal infra will connect to the dark infra when necessary. From the platform here, you decide if using the dark infra or not. It will connect to this automatically. It will do this. It will do whatever you want. In the dark infra, there's only one network. You'll see just one network device, not two, because it's only connected to the internal network, because it doesn't need internet itself, but it's able to go to internet. Of course, it will go to internet through the gateway. The gateway has to. So the gateway will have Tor connections. It will pass by the deep web, and it is the way they will go. While the internal network itself doesn't have internet, but you have to configure. It is already pre-configured. This one to connect to this, and this one to connect to this. So they are all connected. All of them, they can connect to the monitor with the second connection. Actually, the first connection is not mandatory. It's just to update, the Debian system is at the base of all this virtual environment and virtual machines. But in this case, it's not necessary, because what the monitor does is to connect and control all of them, and basically here you can configure the network also for the others. So if you're not able to log into all of them, or you don't want, after the first configuration, it's not necessary anymore to change the IP of every single one. You just go to monitor, and here we can provide the login to change the network configuration of all the machines. So all these machines will read from the monitor conf. So we'll be modifying just one machine. Everybody will follow. It will be simple. In certain cases, if agree with the client, I say that also that here in the virtual environment you can see also the file server and the backup server. Can be a good idea, so you can configure one unique network to connect all of them. It will be easier to communicate with all of them. Also, you can log into one machine here, any one of them, Hyper1 for example, and you can configure the file server or the backup or the Hyper3, whatever, or machines that are in another physical computer. So it can make sense also to have the file servers here. So we can discuss this with the client, but in general, what is important is to save, the configuration of the network for the physical machine here, from the hardware and from the option, from whatever you have here in the network, directly in the network. So thanks for listening. And basically, all machines now are using the virtual environment. That is very simple to configure. Just changing the IP here, and that's all.